conference will now be recorded.
Please turn off the cameras. I request the students. Kishore Kumar Bora. Very good evening to one and all present for today's session. I just want to reconfirm again. Is my voice audible to all of you? Are you
Good
able to
evening,
hear me?
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, all of you are here to attend financial modeling workshop from which is starting from today. So, I hope all of you are ready to begin this new page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in case if you I mean in the upcoming sessions, if you in case if you have any doubts or anything to question, or even in this session, you can put up in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can raise your questions. Okay, so let me share the screen with you. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, today we are starting off with the financial modeling. Okay, a 360-degree financial modeling and evaluation of financial modeling with the support of all the basic structures and the advanced structures. We are going to explore what is financial modeling. So myself, Madhuri, who will be handling and taking care of your entire financial modeling workshop. Okay, so it is a new phase, a new chapter of learning finance, in a better way, in the best way. Okay, and how do you build it, block by block, uh, is what you're going to experience here, learn here. Okay, right. Yes. So always we say data is required in every sphere. Data is the new oil. So what do we mean by data is the new oil? In the sense, see, when we have a particular data, when we have a particular information to exhibit, it is going to start is what we have to do next. Okay, so data is the, I can say, the startup phase, or the what do you say, the beginners track to explore anything or to start up a new business venture. It could be anything for that matter. Yes. Now, if I now I have put up a screen here. Okay. See. So what you can make out by this? Hi, I am Mehul. I want to start a franchisee of Tata Motor. Shall I invest rupees 10 crore into it? Should I do or should I not? So we have a person by named Mehul, and he wants to start up a franchisee of Tata Motors. So he wants to start up this business, and to start up this franchisee of Tata Motors, he wants to invest 10 crore into it. So for him, the decision has to be taken whether he has to invest into this business or no. So we have to help him out in guide. I mean, we have to be a guidance for him to make him to decide whether he has to invest in this project or no. Okay, so which means what kind of what do you say idea do we get about financial modeling is what we are going to think about here. Now, before we start up any business, do we blindly start up a business from tomorrow, or from next month I'm going to start up a business? So, can I just blindly start upon that? No. Before starting up anything, any new business venture, any new business setup, I have to make a homework for it. What is my investment? What, first of all, what kind of project I'm going into? What is my investment? What all resources do I require? Manpower is required. Okay, and what are all the important requisites for my project? So first I'm going to plan out everything, whatever is required, and what is the gross amount of investment required for the same. And in case, very, very important, if I'm going to invest into this project, will I get feasible returns? And that return should not be for 1 year, or it has to not be for 2 years. That returns, that gain has to be consistent. Okay, so every year, of course, we'll have fluctuations when it comes to business. It's not the same, but do we get that consistent amount of returns is what every person is going to think. Okay, every person who wants to be an entrepreneur is going to think about it. Do I get a sustainable return, or do I get a consistent return if I start up this business? It could be, you can take any small business to a large business. So before starting off or starting up any business, the most important uh, objective, or the most important, what do you say, uh, fact, what is going to click, I mean, what comes into his mind is, if I start up this business, will I get reasonable returns? If I'm not getting, then I'll not start up, because in spite of investing so much of amount, if he's not able to get reasonable returns, he will not even think of investing into the project. So that's what you're going to understand in your financial modeling. So we have got one more example here. We want to bid for a national highway Pune Mumbai project. Is it feasible to bid for it? So can I invest 1,000 crores? So in the previous one, if I can I invest 10 crores into building up a franchisee of Tata Motors. So if I invest 10 crores, will I be able to get reasonable returns? Is there any scope for the same? Mehul is going to think. Here, if I invest into a project, into a highway project, and spending 1,000 crores for the same, is it feasible to bid for it? Okay, would it give me returns for the same? So here is what are all the, I mean, for all these questions, we are going to pose an answer. And here, again, one more example we have got. One of my client wants to invest in a capital market. Can I buy a share of Reliance at rupees 600? Okay, so again the same thing. So today, if I buy a share from Reliance at rupees 600, tomorrow will it going to fetch me good returns? Okay, so before, even though if I have to invest 600, or if I have to invest 6 lakhs, invest in, if I have to invest 6 crores, okay, even if I have to invest in 1 rupee also, I think into the business, yes, what's the future? So yes, again, how much amount shall we pay to acquire a DLF infra project? So for all these people, how do I invest? What to bid? Can I buy the stock? And what is the amount of acquisition involved? So for all these, the answer is your financial modeling. So here we are going to pose an answer for the same. Why do you need a financial model? Okay, what are the benefits from the same? Okay, so why do we need, basically is to make up for the annual process. So, as I've told you, if I'm going to invest in a particular project, first I have to plan for the project. So, planning is the first and the foremost important step to start up a business. So, first is your planning. Second, after I plan, what is the total amount of investment required for the same? So, second step would be the financing. Okay. Third, what type of radical changes in the volume? Okay, so it could be the quantity of, in terms of production, investment, it could be in any terms. So what kind of radical changes will I experience in the upcoming years? And fourth, we have cash insufficiency. So in case if I fall in short, what is the secondary amount of investment, or what is the alternative way of investing into this project? Okay, and if I'm doing very well with this project, I have started up one unit, and if that one unit is it, if it is going to be successful, okay, can I go for the expansion of my business? So it's a human tendency. If the unit which I'm starting, if it is running successful, of course it is obvious that I'm going to go for a business expansion. So you can take any basic example. Now you are starting up a small hotel or a small cafe, okay, and that cafe is running successfully, okay, you're getting good amount of turnover. So what is the next step you're going to proceed? Yes, my I want to expand my business. Let me start up one more cafe in any other place. Yes, so that's obvious. Okay, and of course it will, so moment you expand your business, okay, of course it will also lead to the decision of making new ventures. Okay, so all these will take place, okay, moment you start, okay, building up your financial modeling or financial model for your business. So this annual process comprises of all these steps. First, you plan out what you have to do, what all you have to arrange for, what all you have to acquire. Second, what is the financial requirement for the same, and any kind of radical changes which you're going to observe in the production made or in the services offered. It could be any part. Again, in case if any cash insufficiencies are there, if you're going to face, so what is your alternative, or what is your secondary mode of investment or mode of arranging your funds? And if your unit is going pretty well, you're going to think of expanding your business and going for any other new ventures. So all these comes up moment you start take your first step. Yes. So, how do you officially define what is financial modeling? See, it's a representation of an entity's financial statements and accounts. Okay, it's basically a no, we are representing an entity's financial statements and the accounts of the company, and through that we are going to gain some useful insights and focus on the future results. So usually if I talk about the financial statements of a company, okay, we have few main statements, and obviously it will be your income statement, your balance sheet, your cash flow statement, your P&L, okay, your trial balance. So all these are nothing but your financial statements of a company. Okay, so all these financial statements, okay, depict the complete picture of a firm's financial position. Yes. So without these financial statements, we can't even think of how the company is performing, how the work is going on. Is it achieving reasonable returns? We cannot get any idea about it. So these statements help us to determine a company's financial position. Okay, it's path, is there consistency in the returns, all these, a complete picture. So this format includes a future financial picture in an income statement, in the balance sheet, in the cash flow statement, other inputs, assumptions, and any other physical measures. It provides again a useful analysis for a decision maker, very important. And this financial modeling is a decision support tool. So all these will help me to decide what is the next step to be taken in my or for my business. Now let me give you a small example for the same. Now, from past 5 years, we are into the business. Let's say we are into the hotel business, service industry. So here, now, let's say for the period of 5 years, we have been getting consistent returns. Okay, the business is doing good, very well. Okay, so now we have been in one place for all these years. Everything is going on good. So, considering all my financial statements, okay, what is the next decision will I take? Fine, everything is going on well. Okay, my hotel is doing good. My hotel business is doing good. Let me start up, in a new place. So, this will help me to take the future business decisions. So, with the support of all these financial statements. Yes. So, what all uses do we find? with regard to financial model, okay, how is it useful, in what way it is useful? Of course, first is foremost is your capital allocation. Okay. Okay, and before that we have a very important part is raising capital. As I've told you, if I have to start up the business venture, for me the capital investment is a first and the foremost requirement. So what is the total amount to be invested for the business? What all risk do I encounter? So all that risk management has to be done. And considering all the factors, how do I value my company with respect to my, or with regard to the financial statements what I have? Assets valuation needs to be done. And in case any mergers and acquisitions have to take place, that can also be done. Okay. And of course the pricing strategies, what we are going to keep up for our products and services. And very important is budgeting and forecasting. So we are going to have a budgeted figure and the actual. So here also we can make a comparative analysis, and we can also forecast on our future results. And the capital allocation, so how we are going to allocate our funds to different phases of different spheres of our business. So all these can be done with the help of your financial modeling. Okay. So yeah, before I proceed to the next step, I would like to question. Okay. Now I have given you a small insight of what is financial modeling. So if anyone wants to answer, would like to answer, how, in in your terms, how do you define financial modeling? You can go ahead. Yeah. So as per you, how do you think is financial modeling? Now I've given you a small introduction about it. So if you can answer this question, it'll be good for the session. Yes. Anything you would like to any answer would you like to post for the same? You can also put up in the chat box. Yes. 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 So one of the student has put up, it's a prediction of the company's life. So can I survive? Can I go a long way? Okay. Should I make any improvements? Yeah, kind of that. Okay. Any other answer? You can also unmute yourself and you can answer my question. No issues. Yeah. So these are the various uses of financial model. For what purpose do we use? Yes, to value a business activity. It is helpful in planning situations. Okay. And it gives an answer to all these questions. Okay. So to evaluate our business, if I have to plan something, if I have to plan a new venture or a new brand setup or any decision, okay, which will result in bringing changes to our business, to our management, that time also your financial model is going to help you out, and it is going to answer these questions. Please don't unmute yourself. Please do mute, because it can cause a disturbance to the session. Yeah. So it'll help me to answer all these questions. Uh, can I get a return on the money invested in the project? When the project will reach cash positive? What is the break even point? If the return is a particular percentage, then what could cost for the business activities? How long the project can survive without any kind of further investment? Okay, so return on the money invested in the project. So my first question is, okay, what is the first question? Return on the money invested in the projected. So, which means that now, am I going to get a feasible return, a consistent return? This is what no, I kept on repeating all this time. So, what money I invest in the project? It could be 1 lakh, it could be 10 lakhs, it could be 10 crores. So, will I get a reasonable return if I invest this much of amount in the project? Yes or no? So the answer is given with the help of financial modeling. Second, when the project will reach cash positive. So cash positive in the sense like same thing. It is more like your returns. So will now moment I invest in the project, I cannot expect to receive the returns immediately. It will take a substantial amount of time. So, but though the substantial amount of time has crossed, after that, will I be able to get my returns? Still, I'm not able to get. Then it is a matter of concern. And what is the break-even point? So when my quantity, my sales, okay, should equate with my investments. Now, if the return is a particular percentage, some amount, then what could cost for the business activity? So the scenario should be such that the requirement, the investment, the costing should be considerably less, okay, than my gains. My gains should not be less than the cost, then it will be other way around, right? So, and how long the project can survey without any further investment, so without any additional capital to be invested, how long can I survive in this project? Okay, till there I'll be able to carry on. In case if I have to want to go for the expansion, or if I have to put up any renovation, it could be any further cost. So until then, until I put up this cost, how long can I continue or survive in this project? Okay, so it helps to examine the financial and the physical scenarios, my productivity, my performance, my expansion, and my new capacity building up. Yes, so this gives you a complete answer. We have 5 reasons why you need to build a financial modeling for your startup. It's like a homework before you start your project. That's it. So, in simple words, I have to tell. So just like that, I can't invest lakhs of money, crores of money, and sort of fine. I'm doing good. I'm starting up now. So pre-planning helps me to build my business in a better way, in a consistent way. So, to be successful, entrepreneurs and startup founders need to have a good handle on their business. So, handle means what? A kind of an experience and exposure to the work what you're starting. The best way to do this is to build a financial model which will give a greater insight into our company. It will also make your startup more attractive to venture capital investors, lenders, or angel investors. Okay, so all this will be done only when you are put up your build with the help of financial model. Okay, so these are the 5 reasons why we have to build this. The first we have is the analytical lens. It is a framework for thinking through business in an objective, critical manner and construct numbers around each and every assumption. So, as I've told you, first we have to think before the execution. First, we have to plan before starting up anything. So, it's a framework of thinking through business in an objective, critical manner and to construct numbers around every assumption. Okay, so first is plan. Yeah, you're going to pen down every requirement of your business, and then you have to go for the step 2, operating roadmap. A model is by its nature a chronological way of laying out what you expect to happen and when, and how much it will cost in a very granular manner. So, as I've told you, I'm going to start up this project, so it may cost this much, but actual how much it may cost, okay? So we have a budget. So actual how much we may incur, and for each and every aspect, how much we have to invest. All these things we're going to plan up, okay, in a step by step manner. Very important is the third factor, which is risk assessment. So we are going to identify all the key levers and sensitivities of the business, which helps us in eliminating the risk points of the business. Okay, in particular the magnitude of the downside risk, because for most startups expenses precede the revenue. So as I've told you, moment I start up, I cannot expect a huge amount of revenue. It will take its own time, to go up to bloom. So patience is the utmost requirement, positivity, and very important, your risk assessment. So in case if I'm going to face, of course, without any risk no business is going to be successful. So such risk, how they have to be assessed. We have to plan it prior. So at that time when I'm going to face risk, I cannot take my decision beforehand. If I do that, I'll be in a safer place. Okay, scenario exploration. Models allow for multiple forms of really useful business model analysis. For example, what happens to a break even point when we lower prices by 10%? So, or how much extra money will we need to raise if sales take a lot longer than we expect? Or what do margins look like if we hire a direct sales team versus recruiting a network of athletes? So, all these, what do you say? Preparations we need to make. Suppose if I'm going to less my prices, or if I'm going to offer discount, so still I'm going to make up my sales. I'm going to achieve this margin. Or if I'm going to make an additional investment, okay, will it take the sales to appear in a longer way, or it will happen in a short span of time? So how do I work out my margins? Okay, should I have a direct selling approach, or should I recruit a network of people to make my sales? So all these things can be decided. Pitch and sales tool. Last but not the least, models are a great way to bolster your pitch to investors, lenders, or strategic partners. And at its most basic, the model eloquently explains how much money you need and how much you will make for the investor or the partner. So obviously, right? So if an investor has to invest in your project, a financier has to put up funds into your project, obviously he will check out your complete plans, okay, your business model, okay, and of course before investing he is going to uh, make sure that some amount of returns you're going to get it if I'm going to invest in this project, because blindly no investor no financier is going to invest lakhs or crores of rupees into a project. Now I'll give you a classic example for the same. I think all our favorite is movies, right? So now, if a movie has to be put up or it has to be started off, now will the producers blindly invest crores of money into a particular project? No. Considering the star cast, considering the crew members, considering the, what do you say, the story, very important, the director, the story writer, complete. Okay, it is then this person is going to invest l- crores of rupees into the project. Without considering all these aspects, he will not take a decision as such. He will not risk his money into such projects. I hope you would accept this point. So I gave your favorite example. So like that, your financial modeling is built up. In case if you have anything to ask, you can stop me in between. Right. Right. So, as I've told you, how do you prepare for financial modeling for any company? This is how we are going to take place. Okay, we have, see, based on the historical information, obviously our balance sheets, income statements, cash inflows, and a debt service. So, a balance sheet, of course, it's a position statement where we have the position of our assets and liabilities of the company. Our income statement where we have the profits after tax determined, cash flows, summary of, of our cash inflows and the outflows, and a debt service, our you know, our payables and how are our funds being borrowed, arranged, everything. And second is we are going to analyze the relationships or make the assumptions with regard to the growth rates, operating margins, and new business, and how I'm going to refinance again if the requirement arises. So growth rates in the sense the growing. So how is the rate determined, and how is the growth assessed, right, from the first year to the second year to the third year? So all that, that graphical studies what I have to make, and what is the operating margin, okay, on my sales, my revenue. So in case if my unit is doing well, I'm going for a expansion of my business, or I'm going to start up a new one. And if I have to go for a refinancing aspect, I'm going to make for it. And the project sales and the cost, the revenue generated, and very important is what is the cost incurred to make the sales. So, as I've told that time, my cost of the goods sold should not be more than the revenue generated. Obviously, the cost incurred should be less than the revenue generated. And what are my margins achieved? And again, the debt service. Coming back to the developed stage of complete financials and analysis, of course, so at the nth moment, considering all these factors, working on all these aspects, okay, then we're going to arrive and get a complete picture of our firm's financial position with the help of balance sheet, the income statements, and the cash flows, how we require, whether monthly, weekly if needed, and the industry and the ratio analysis. Yes. So these are the three main statements which is going to determine the fate of a business: income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow. So all these things is what you're going to work out. Still, lot more are there to explore in financial modeling. Okay. So this is an introductory phase what you are attending today. Of course, a lot more there to be practically solved. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. Okay, and it is going to give a practical touch to your theoretical learning in the upcoming sessions. Yes, so this is a glimpse of your financial modeling. Okay, so yes, this is a glimpse of our income statements, balance sheets. Yes, where we have a couple of years statement generated, a consolidated one. So what is a consolidated one? It is a it could be an income statement or a profit and loss statement of a couple of years. We're going to segregate everything and then we're going to make a comparative analysis, which is very important to determine the growth or determine the complete graph of our business performance. Balance sheets. So all these things you'll be already familiar with. This is a complete detail of our financial statements. Yes. Now, to whom all this is useful actually? It's useful for the entrepreneurs, your financial modeling, okay, to the investors, okay, and to the venture capitalist, okay, to the bankers. To all these people, this financial model plays a crucial role, okay. To the project finance team, corporate finance, to the startup investors, mergers and acquisitions, and for all these sectors, corporate finance. So, for all these users, financial modeling plays a crucial role. Equity researchers, yeah. So, who all have to adopt this course is a small suggestion from our side. A commerce graduate, all the MBA students, the financial and the business analyst, financial controllers, managers and modelers, CFOs, risk managers, CAs, corporate treasury managers, middle office staff, general managers, fund managers, and P fund managers. Okay, equity fund managers. Yes. And of course, it has the highest paying job if you're well versed in your advanced Excel, nothing but your FM. So it is going to pay you off well in the upcoming days, in the upcoming years, because it has a high amount of priority, high amount of importance. It has a substantial growth. So to whom all, of course, if you see the growth, we have for the marketing manager, sales manager, for the business operations manager, a management analyst, for a financial analyst, for a financial advisor, operations research analyst, okay, for a logician, market research analyst, for an accountant, and for a compliance officer. So this is a growth in salary. What is going to be experienced? Okay, we have still more to explore. Okay, yes. So again, we have again a basic structure to discuss. Yes, so I've got few answers here. Very good. Yes. Yeah, it helps us to plan out the finances required for future purposes. Yes, Kritika. And yes, for the BBA, BCom, for everybody, it is helpful. Mahi Agarwal. It's not only for the BCom, for BBA as well. For every, see, all of you belong to the finance background, commerce, and without finance, no business can be started off. So, irrespective of your BCom, BBA degree, and MBA degree, this is an utmost requirement for every student. So, here you're going to explore all these things. Okay, the moment you start, moment you get the practical exposure. Okay, yes. Yes, and very important, yes, your Excel plays a crucial role in learning your financial, your modeling. Very important. Excel plays a crucial role. Okay, so we're going to start off with the basics of Excel, practical exercises along with the advanced Excel version. So we're going to explore your Excel in the best way because any case study, any exercise to be solved, any project you're going to make in a financial modeling requires the support of your Excel. So all this you're going to work out in your entire program. You're going to explore the uses and the benefits which I've discussed already once. Again and again, you're going to encounter the same aspect. Use of Excel in your FM, financial statement analysis with the support of your financial statements. You're going to have a refresher round of your Excel. We're going to explore what is time value and money. And of course, with the help of the three statement module, which is your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement, you're going to have a complete detailed study of your financial modeling. And of course, capital budgeting, ratio analysis, almost all of you had a nice exposure. You've been learning from a very long time. For example, you have basic ratios. You have so many. You have current asset ratios, you have debt equity ratios, right? You have all these ratios, right? So these ratios helps to analyze, okay, what is the company's performance, what's its financial backdrop, and it also helps to make a comparative analysis of our company with respect to the other companies within the same industry. Now, I'm running a hotel business. Now, my ratios are put up as such. Okay. Now my performance is compared with the other, what do you say, my competitors within the same industry. So, am I performing well, or do I need to make any improvements? So, all these will be taken up with the help of this ratio analysis. And of course, some nice charts. You're going to practically experiment, work out on these charts in your financial modeling. So, I discussed one set of usage of your financial modeling to evaluate your business. Very important decision making, as I've told you a couple of times. Next step, what I have to take, what I have to do, what I should plan for future, everything, what do you say, pre prep, whatever is going to be done with the help of your financial modeling. Budgeting, very important, because irrespective of the actual cost incurred, budgeting plays a crucial role. This much I may incur, but actually, how much I may incur, if I'm incurring lesser than the budget, very nice. If I'm going to incur more, then of course I have to make some alternative arrangements for the same. And what is the total cost for financing the project? The analysis of the financial statements. Yes. So, what is the preparation for a particular scenario to encounter a particular business scenario? Long term business forecasting. As I've told you, in the upcoming years, what are my plans to survive in this business? This also have one stage of answer I've already given you, why we need to build financial modeling. Yes, to raise the debt and the equity capital. So, what is the risk we are going to encounter with regard to both? Of course, making our business asset acquisition and net assets, selling and buying assets, forecasting and budgeting, as I already told you, explained you, to evaluate the business, and how do I distribute capital allocation. Okay, so to which sector, to which segment I have to invest, how much amount is what I'm going to decide with the help of my financial modeling. So, how you're going to make this model for the company? As I already told you, considering our previous financial information, already existing financial statements, we're going to make a analysis of the historical data. After that, we're going to gather the assumptions for forecasting our future business steps. We're going to forecast the financial statements using our assumptions. Future business risk assessment. If I'm going to encounter risk, how do I manage the same? Performance of our sensitivity analysis, all the sensitive scenarios, situations, what I'm going to encounter, and a stress test forecast. Because, see, when we are stressed, when there is a rough patch going on, we cannot have a setback. Fine, I'm not going to continue this business, I'm going to shut down, I cannot anymore survive. That can't be done, because, see, it is the two sides of the same coin. So any plus or minus, any kind of risk, any kind of problems, so all these things needs to be assessed well before. And if such situations are encountered, we have to survive, we have to come out of that. Okay, where we have to cross all these hurdles to become a successful entrepreneur. So all these are required to have a stable performance in our business. So once discussed already the career path. See, if you are going to learn financial modeling, explore financial modeling in the best way, what all you can do and what all you can come across, what all you can be. Of course, you can encounter to be a credit and an equity and a private equity research. You can be into the stock trading and portfolio management, right? Credit analysis, okay, of course, and what benefits you're going to have to improve analytical and quantitative skills, to strengthen your decision making abilities. So, all these benefits is what you're going to receive to gain one of the most sought after skills in the finance industry. And opportunities, of course, the credit rating firms. equity research houses and the brokerage firms. So yeah, I can promise one thing, that it has a wonderful career ahead in your financial modeling. So you're learning something which is not only a part of your syllabus, a part of the your college curriculum. It's a very important step, a decision what you've taken now to be a part of this workshop. Yes, investment banking. You can also explore the private equity control accounting in terms of your accounting to be a good accountant, for making budgeting, for managing the finance part, and also for the controlling aspect. So all these aspects can be taken care if you are learning your financial modeling, if you have a well versed knowledge of your financial modeling. So as I've already discussed with you, the three statement module: your balance sheet, your income statement, and your cash flows. So you're going to explore in the coming classes, how do you practically generate a balance sheet, a cash flows. Very interesting journey you're going to experience. So the purpose of a three statement model, an integrated financial statement model, is to forecast or project the financial position of a company as a whole. It contains three types of financial statements: your balance sheets, income statement, cash flow statement. Yes. So all these statements play a crucial role, okay, for a company. Now I would like to ask one question to all of you. Now, how do you prepare your balance sheet? Do you prepare balance sheet for the year ending? How do you start your statement with? One simple question. It is a basic question. Now you're going to prepare the balance sheet, right? Balance sheet and trading and profit and loss statement. So if you're preparing your balance sheet, for example, in the books of X Limited, balance sheet, how do you do it? Is it like balance sheet for the year ended, or balance sheet uh, any other statement you're going to give? Can I have an answer for the same? Because it's a very important question which I'm posing for you. I'll repeat again. If you're preparing a balance sheet for a company, you know, so how do you go for it? You're going to do it as balance sheet for the year ended, or you're going to put any other words in place of that?
Ma'am, balance sheet as on.
Very good. So why do you put that balance sheet as on actually?
Ma'am, it is at that moment, no, ma'am.
At that moment.
Moment. At that
Okay.
point of time, what does the company have? What does it not have? What are
Okay.
its liabilities and all that?
Yes, very good. So how do you define balance sheet then? What kind of a
Ma'am,
statement is, yeah. Yes, yes, Pa, tell me.
yeah, so balance sheet is like we just prepare the company's balance sheet a yearly once. So where the income statement, it is for the monthly. Whereas
Okay.
the balance sheet, we prepare only for the yearly ones that the company can prepare. Whatever the
Hmm.
current assets or the current liability they get, and we therefore it has to get balanced what the company's total assets and liabilities are.
Okay, good. Any other answer? Okay, good. I've got good replies. Very nice you're responding. See, actually, because most of the students make this errors. Usually, what happens, see, when if you prepare the a trading profit and loss statement, we usually say trading and profit and loss statement for the year ended 31st of March, whatever year. So why do we put it as for the year end? Because it is a periodical statement, and once in a year we're going to put it up. But if I talk about the balance sheet is not a periodical statement. Rather, balance sheet is a position statement as on this date. Again, I'll make the correction: as on this date. I want to know what is the current position of my assets and liabilities. So we always prepare as balance sheet, not for the year ended, but balance sheet as on the date of. That's all. So we should. It's a wrong way if you're going to prepare as for the year ended. It's completely wrong. It is not a periodical statement. It is a position statement. As on this date, I want to know what is the net worth. What is the current position of my business. I want to know it immediately. So that's why we always define balance sheet as a position statement, not as a periodical statement. You can clearly make out the difference. For P&L, we usually say for the year ended, but for the balance sheet, it is as on this date. So this is the clarity what we're going to what we need to have actually. These are all the basic, I can say, accounting knowledge, basic knowledge, nothing advanced. So if you know, it is very good actually. That's why this question was asked in the course of your in the course of my discussion. Okay, so I got good answers. I hope also you have got the clarity of which statement stands where. Okay, and of course, the cash flow statements is nothing but the summary of your inflows and the outflows. So usually we go cash flows on a monthly basis because we cannot prepare on a yearly basis. So it'll become very cumbersome. A lot of information overload will be there. Yes. Very important, the first step is your income statement. Okay, the income statement, how do we define it? It is also known as a statement of operations, profit and loss statement, and the statement of your earnings. Simple. We determine a PAT in that, profit after tax. We start with the placing of our gross revenue or the gross sales revenue. From there, we are going to cut down everything, all our expenses, our depreciations, our taxes, and finally, we're going to arrive at the profit after tax, or the what do you say, the revenue available to our shareholders. So an income statement is a financial report that summarizes the revenues and the expenses of a business. This document gauges the financial performance of a business in terms of profits or losses for a particular accounting period, right? So this is how we are going to generate our profits, uh, you know after placing all the deductions, additions, and everything. So our last survival is our PAT or EAT, earnings after tax or profit after tax, the net amount available for the distribution to our equity shareholders, and of course the preference shareholders as well. So then next is your profit and loss. Yeah, all your debts, I mean assessment, finance, all this is taken care of it, audit and equity aspect. And of course, type of liabilities, we have the current liabilities, we have the non-current liabilities, and we have the contingent liabilities. So examples of current liabilities, if I have to give, of course, we have our creditors, then we have our bills payable, non-current. So what all, we have the unsecured loans, we have so many cases, in that aspect of contingent is what contingent contingent means what may or may not. So all these things form part of your statements. Yes. So it's a short way of exploring our financial statements as well. So if I talk about our current assets, we have all these six aspects of in our current assets. We have the cash and cash equivalent, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, raw materials, stock, inventory, of course, it's part of the same, short term investments. Okay, so all these form part of our current assets. Fixed assets, nothing but our non current assets. So if I talk about the current assets, we have all these things. We have cash, accounts, nothing but your bills receivable, prepaid expenses, inventories, nothing. So all these and short term investments. If I talk about the non-current or fixed assets, obviously we have our land, buildings, plant and machinery, furniture, equipment, motor vehicles, factories. All these form part of our non-current assets, nothing but our fixed assets. Yes, and coming to our next step, which is your CFS, cash flow statement. As I've told you, it's a summary of our cash inflows and the outflows. So we have three segments in our cash flow statements: cash flows from our operating activities, cash flow from our investing activities, cash flow from our financing activities. Okay, so I'm going to explain you further in the upcoming sessions. Okay. And as I've told you, Excel plays a crucial role to learn our FM actually. Okay. So Excel plays a crucial role for us. One second. So what role does the Excel play? To give a short introduction on your Excel is what I'm going to do now. One second. Yes. Right. So here, as I've told you, Excel plays a key role for us to learn your FM. I hope all of you are well versed with Excel. In case if you aren't, if you're knowing, okay, not that bad. Also, it's fine. I will take you through from the basics to the advanced. It is not at all an issue. It's very practical, very interesting. Okay, and then we're going to build your financial model. Okay, so yes, in simple terms, if you have to define your FM, okay, it's a representation in numbers of your company's operations. I've explained in a layman's language, okay, not expressed in a very technical language. So it is a representation in numbers of a company's operations for in the past, present, and of course the forecasted future. And these models are intended to be used as decision making tools. They are used by the organization for n number of reasons. Already you have seen a couple of reasons. How, for what purpose do we use? What are the benefits of the same? Like tracking companies' performance, forecasting, budgeting, risk analysis, evaluation, etc. And yeah, here I come to the bottom line where financial valuation is the practice of forecasting the cash flow measures a company's ability to produce what investors care most about, cash that's available to be distributed in a discretionary way. This is a crucial point. Okay. And this financial model is what we build by using the Excel. Okay. So Excel is the foundation for the same. And how do we define Excel, by the way? We define Word as a documentation tool. We define PowerPoint as a presentation tool. We define Excel as a spreadsheet tool, right? So, Microsoft Excel is basically a spreadsheet program which is included in the Microsoft suite of applications. And these spreadsheets present tables of values arranged in the rows and columns, okay, that can be manipulated mathematically using both the basic and complex arithmetic operations and the functions. Okay, so now if you see your Excel sheet, it is all in your rows and columns. Do we see pages in an Excel sheet? No. So whatever data is represented in Excel sheet, it is in terms of your rows and columns, and every result is ascertained by using these formulas. Yes. So it's a startup to work in your Excel. So it's an expression that calculates values in a cell or in a range of cells. Okay, for example, if I want to calculate the sum, so I'm going to do is equals to, I'm going to calculate the sum of this range to get the values. And so by using the formula and nothing but a function which is a predefined formula already available in your Excel. So we have a list of formulas and functions available in your Excel to get the desired result. Okay, so if I go back to an Excel sheet, okay, this is a plain Excel sheet, it's a blank workbook what you're visualizing here. Okay, so now if I talk about the most important components of your Excel sheet, obviously, okay, so starting from your file tab till the help tab, you have all the tabs. Okay, but component parts, very important parts, if I have to answer you now, any cell which I'm going to point out here, okay, these cells are defined in a unique way. Now, if I take out the cell, it is defined as B5, A1, D1, E6, F4, that way. Now, this E5, B8, E6, C7, it's nothing but called as cell address. This is called as a cell address, which I'm showing you here. Okay, I'll repeat again. So if I point out any cell, it is defined in the way of B7, A2, C1 here. So this C1, B2, A4, this is called as cell address in your Excel, and the cell address is displayed in this name box. So the place where the cell address is displayed, that is called as the name box. So we find the cell address displayed in the name box. Okay, and what is the place or the bar which is adjacent to this name box? It is a formula bar. So what work does this formula bar do for me in the Excel sheet? Now let's say I want to calculate the sum of some values. Okay. I've got here three values, 56, 45, and 23. I want to calculate the sum total of it. So which function do you use here? We basically use the sum function equals to sum. So if you can see, if you can make out, we have got all the list of functions here, lots of formulas here to be exhibited in your Excel. Depends upon your requirement. Okay, what result you're going to you want based upon the input, your data, you can apply that particular function and the formulas. So here I want to get the sum total of the same. So what do? I'm going to apply the sum function. And very important, very important is to apply any kind of formula in the Excel. We have to always start with equal to sign. If without equal to sign, if I just use sum function, I open the brackets, I capture these values, nothing is going to come. So always before starting anything in Excel, I'm talking about the application of the formula. You have to start with equals to sign, and then you have to begin. So equals to sum, you're going to capture all the values, shift key, close the brackets. When you press enter, you're going to get the value as 124. So I want to know, or any other person wants to know, how this 124 is arrived. And that time when I click on the result, I get to know that this function is being applied, the sum function. So where I can see this is in the formula bar. So the moment I click on the result 124, I get to know that some function is being applied here. So formula bar depicts the same, how the result is being ascertained. Okay, so yes. Now coming to a few basic components of your Excel sheet. Again, a one simple question I want to ask. Now, can we insert how many ever sheets we want in Excel, or do we have a limitation of sheets in Excel? It could be a guess answer, or if you know the answer, also you can reply. Now, basically, if I'm going to open an Excel sheet is an Excel file, a blank workbook. By default, I'm going to see only sheet one. Okay, so for a user, how many sheets can he insert? Is there a limitation on the same, or it's like, is it how many ever sheets I want I can insert? What can be your answer for the same? Is there any limitation like I have to insert only 10 sheets in one Excel file or 50 sheets? So can I have answers for the same?
Ma'am,
Uh,
no limitations, no, ma'am.
yes, it's infinity. How many ever sheets I want I can insert in one Excel file. So there is no limit. And how many rows and columns do we have in one Excel sheet? Yes. Now, in one Excel sheet, we have numerous rows and numerous columns. So, How many rows and columns do we have in one Excel sheet? Yes, answer. How many rows and columns we have in one Excel sheet?
26.
26 what, ma?
26 rows and columns. I don't know.
26 rows and columns, okay? No, if you see, if you keep on answering, if I get some spontaneous answers, even the session will be very interesting. Otherwise, if one side, if I'm talking, if you're hearing, it'll be like numb. So good, 26 you have told. Any other answer? You can also put up on the chat box. It's nothing. It's not a compulsion that you have to unmute yourself. If you're hesitant on that, you can also put up in the chat box. I'll be seeing that as well. No Google. If you're googling out and giving me the answers, please don't give me the answers. Right. Fine. More than a lakh. Okay. Very good. More than lakh should be in what? In terms of rows, in terms of columns, or both. So that clarity also should be given, Tanya. So, anyways, good. You're answering. Fine. Now, for your information, yes. Now, totally in one sheet, in sheet one, okay, we are having 16,384 columns. One sheet, 16,384 columns. And how many rows we are having? We are having 10 lakh 48,576 rows. In one sheet, we are having, I'll repeat again. In one sheet, we are having 10 lakh 48,576 rows and columns 16,384 columns is what you're going to see in one sheet. So imagine how many rows and columns we have. But how can we view these columns? How can we view the first column and the last column? All these things you're going to see now, which I'm going to do. I'll show you right away. Now see, your first column is column A, correct? Now I have to see the last column in the Excel. Which will be the last column and what is the name of that last column? How can I view that? See, this is your last column, XFD. So my first column is A. My last column, one second. Yes, my last column is XFD. So this can be seen by using the shortcut key Control plus Shift plus your right arrow key. Okay, if you want to put up in the notepad as well. Okay, to view your last column, it is Control plus Shift. You can just experiment right away plus your right arrow key. Or to go to the, to move to the last row, sorry, last column, to move to last column. And it is the opposite, Control plus Shift plus the left arrow key to come to the to come back to the first column. It'll take you less amount of time. In a matter of seconds, we come to the last, go to the first, come to the first, go to the last. It's like that. So just press Control plus Shift plus right arrow key to come to the last. Again, Control plus Shift plus the left arrow keys. You have your arrow keys in your keyboard, right? So that you can use it and you can view both the first and the last. This is what I'm going to get. Okay. I hope all of you are able to experience the same. You can see the first and the last column, A column and the XFD column. So A column is your first column, XFD should be your last column. So how do you experience the rows now? We have 16,000, we have 10,48,576 rows. So here, same procedure, Control plus Shift plus the down arrow key. One second. I think they don't want this data. Yeah. So now you can have a clear view. You can, visualize the same. 10 lakh, how much I told? 10 lakh 48,576 rows. Same thing, control plus shift plus the down arrow key to come to the last row of your sheet 1. 10,48,576th row. Again, to shoot up to the first row immediately, what do I do? I'll press control plus shift plus the up arrow key. Okay. See. So how much time I took? I took very less amount of time. So this is how you're going to put up control plus shift plus the down arrow key to come to the last row, control plus shift plus the up arrow key to come to the first row in your Excel sheet. Please work out, because then and there if you work out practically it'll be very interesting for you. Later on doing afterwards working out will not be interesting for you as well. So it'll be good if you work simultaneously with me. Of course, sufficient amount of time is given for you. It's not I'm going very fast. In case if you feel I'm going fast, you can stop me, you can put a message, you can unmute yourself, tell that ma'am, can you just repeat this concept? I didn't understand. Everything works out. So no issues. So all of your all of you experienced to go to the first row, to the last row, went to the first column and the last column. Yes, were you able to do it?
Yeah.
And you could, yeah, very
Yes,
good,
ma'am.
very good, super, yeah. So like this, we are going to see. This is how we are going to experience the total rows and columns in one sheet. Very good. So I'm getting good responses. Yes, ma'am. So coming back to your Excel sheet, I'll show you one more way. Now you have a triangle here, right? To the left hand side of your Excel sheet. See, I'm showing you here on the screen. Here also, if you double click, you're going to see the rows. Of course, clear in the sense you have to put on the drop down arrow there. So you can visualize it. 10,48,576 rows. Just double click on the same, you're going to get the answer right away here. That's all. That is also one of the ways. So we have numerous ways. I've taught you 2 ways here. Okay, so this is the few basic things. So I have to repeat it. You have this as a name bar, name box. This is the formula bar. So all the data, the entire data is displayed in terms of rows and columns. Okay, in your Excel sheet. Okay, and we can have infinity sheets. There's no limit. Okay, we have to place only 10 sheets, 20 sheets. No, there is no count on the same. And of course, when it comes to deleting the sheets also, we can delete sheets based on the use, but we cannot delete sheet 1 also, because minimum requirement is your sheet 1. If you don't have permission to delete the same. Okay, so now if I have to add sheet 2, now in what all ways can we add sheets in Excel? Now by default, now I have sheet 1, I want sheet 2, I want additional sheet. So what do? I use this plus button. Okay, what are the other ways of inserting sheets in Excel? One is the plus key, which I'm going to use. Any other way? How well you can add sheets in Excel?
Press on the icon and make another Excel open, ma'am.
Press out the icon. Or which
Right
icon, ma'am?
click,
Right
right
click
click
on
on
it.
it and open another Excel like that only.
So I go to insert, I go to worksheet.
No,
Hmm?
I'm on taskbar is there, no, ma'am. From that only you can right click and make another Excel, open another Excel sheet, no.
No, not Excel sheet, ma. Excel sheet is, I'm asking this. If I want sheet 2,
Oh,
one
that
is
one.
like, so that I'm asking you, if I have to open one more sheet, so how will I work on that? Now, usually what we do is, what we do, we use that plus sign, no? If I want to add one more sheet, I'll go to that plus sign and add the sheets. Correct.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So this is the basic thing, what we usually keep on working. So apart from that, how will I add sheets? These are all actually the smart ways. It's nothing that, is what, no, something, extra thing we are learning. But how all these are basic, things which forms part of your Excel. And afterwards, your FM is already always there for us. So it'll be very, interesting to know all these things. That's why. See, questions are asked just to make you aware, not to not to exploit you, to have a nice learning. Yes. So, of course, two things. One thing, you have to press the plus sign bar here, okay? Where you're going to add sheet 2. One more way is I'll go to sheet 1, I say insert. And you get a dialog box here. Do you want worksheet? Do you want chart? Do you want macros? Do you want a dialog box? I say I want worksheet. I'll press OK. I get sheet 3. So like this also you can insert sheets. One more, third one is a very important way, but I want the answer from your side, not for today's class. Let me see who is going to answer me. A very, very important way. Okay,
There's a shortcut.
very good, very good. So what is that shortcut?
Shift plus Fn plus F11.
Shift plus Fn plus.
Fn F11.
Very good. It is Shift plus FM plus F11. If you're using laptops or desktop, means Shift and F11. Fabulous. So this is how we're going to insert sheets in Excel. So first is, as usual, our general way. We add that plus sign. Second is right click on that sheet and go to insert. Third is Shift and F11. So these are the three ways to insert sheets in an Excel file. So keyboard shortcut also we have. We can also use our mouse. So in all the ways we can insert sheets in an Excel. Same thing now if you observe in my file, it is not arranged in a proper manner. Sheet 1 is somewhere, sheet 4 is first. So how do I rearrange it in a proper way? We have, of course, again for this also we have two ways. Probably you will choose the easiest way. See, one thing is now I have to put sheet 4 in the last place. So what do I do is, see, I'm going to right click on sheet 4, okay, and I'm going to go to move or copy. I'll repeat again, please listen. Now see, I'm having sheet 4, sheet 3, sheet 1 and sheet 2. Sheet 4 is appearing first, but for me the sheet 1 should come here and sheet 4 should go at the last. So what do I do is, I will come to sheet 4, right click on sheet 4, I'll go to move or copy. So if I go to move or copy, I get this dialog box here. So what Excel is asking me, you want to shift the sheet 4. I say yes. So what should be my before sheet? My before sheet should be sheet 3. Before sheet 3, here actually before sheet 1 it has to come. So I'm going to just show you once. So sheet 4 is the before sheet. So if I give it as OK, it will be there only. So what I have to do is, I want to move sheet 4 before sheet 2. So it will come here. Okay. So I'll repeat again. See your sheet 4. One second. See you have here we take. We have sheet 3, sheet 1, sheet 4 and sheet 2. So if I want to place sheet 4 at the last. So right click on sheet 4, go to move or copy. Okay. So what happens is, we have four options. What should the before sheet be? The before sheet means this sheet. Now before sheet 4, sheet 1 is there. But before sheet 4, what should be? Sheet 3 should be there. It is not there. It has gone to the first place. So what do? I will put the sheet 4 to the end. So I'll go to move to the end. I'll go OK. So I'll shift sheet 4 like this. Like that, every sheet you can move. This is the, the Excel way. Again, one of the easiest ways, you can drag it. You can hold your sheet 1, just drag it to the first place like this. So this is how you can rearrange your sheets. Okay. And before, of course, tomorrow we are starting anyway with the practical Excel cases. Okay, so what you can do is, for every concept you can, no, for every concept, one sheet, new sheet can be used. For example, if you're working on sum, so one sheet can be done entirety on sum. I'll be giving you the practical exercises. Again, let's say we're doing the lookup functions, like that sheet 2. So every sheet can be given a name and a color at your choice. For example, in sheet 1 you're doing the sum function. So what you can do is, you can rename the sheet 1, right click on the sheet 1, you get a concept as rename. So just click on the rename. Okay, and then just use the backspace or delete option, I think, and just give it as sum. That's all, and press enter. Your sheet is named as sum. Okay, like that. If you are if you wish to change the color also, you can do it. It is at your choice. Right click on the same, go to tab color. Let's say I want it yellow. That's all. You'll not see, when you go to sheet 2 you'll see it like this. Okay. Excuse me. Like this, you can rename the sheets, and you can also change the tab color. So like that, for every exercise which you're going to do in your workshop, you can apply this. It'll be very interesting, very nice, and in a best way you can look at your Excel file. Fine. So any questions, because last 3 minutes are there, so I don't want to add on any concepts. We'll be adding concepts now and then, okay, to be learned actually. As I've told you, keep telling you, any questions, any doubts, put up in the chat box, unmute yourself, feel free to ask, no hesitations. Okay, so anything you want me to ask, you can ask. Yes, Rochelle also has given the right answer, shift plus F11. Okay, so I hope your first session was interesting. Okay, of course a lot of theoretical discussion was there, because directly practical, if I start, it won't be a good start for you. You should learn, you should come to know why you're learning this subject. Okay, so only when you get that insight practically, when you're doing, it serves a very good purpose for you. So that's, so for that purpose, always I give a theoretical introduction, and then practically anyways doing, it will be there for you. So we'll be carrying on for the same in the upcoming classes. Okay, so we'll meet up again tomorrow. Okay, at the same time. Um, so please be on time for the session. Log in on time. Don't be late for the session. Otherwise, you will miss all the important aspects. So fine. So any questions to be asked, you can go ahead. Otherwise, we can end the session.
No, ma'am.
Fine. So I'll conclude the session. Thank you all. We'll meet up in the next session.